Okay, we're gonna be streaming now. Okay, getting it together little by little. All right, let me go up. um, Pushing it up. Mhm. All right, well, I welcome everyone here. Welcome, welcome to the Royal Rulers in Training. I am Master Mentor Odiela Jackson, and glad you all here. Welcome, welcome. Get ready to take notes, and we're going to be talking about wisdom and communication in the name, part two. So good stuff we got from last night, and those who are here from last night, I hope y'all did your assignment, because Zane will be asking you guys. Let me text him on the phone and make sure we on the same page. All right. You remember anything that you learned from yesterday?
Mm, I did.
Okay, tell us a
Okay,
little bit.
the one thing I learned from yesterday is okay, what he talked about is, let's say I'm a high level in a certain game, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
someone asks me if uh, they need some help, and after I help them finish a certain level, they decide to become my friend,
Right.
which they just want to be my friend because I could get them to be a high level.
Right. Yes. And that would be called what?
Um, would um, wouldn't it be called a M M M?
What is that? A person that using you? Would you call that being used?
Yeah, being used.
Mm-hmm. So that's a nice another way of the have you be aware of people you're dealing with, so you can discern who is what part of this circle or this person is this person in, or if they in your intimate friendships or close friendship, or your associates, or what you call it,
Yeah,
acquaintance.
great.
Yeah, so
Oh, and another thing, if they want to be your friend, it's because of your money as well.
right. So exactly. So what we learned about a person, how we choose a friend. Remember that? How did you choose a friend? They had to have two things.
Okay, one of them is you trust in your spirit, meaning Elohim, and okay,
The
the one
It's integrity,
oh,
and what else?
integrity and
Equity.
equity.
Yeah,
Right.
integrity and equity for all.
Yes. Hey, I didn't know you was here. Glad you're here. Glad you're
I
all
was invisible.
here. Yeah, so that's a good review. I'm trying to see if well, I know he knows. It's just he be in those classes. You got to get out. Yeah. So anybody did their assignment? Y'all ready for them?
Yeah, I think I categorized people where they should be.
Oh wait, that is it the one where stranger, friend?
Yeah,
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't I didn't do it because my phone is dead now.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
man.
we're gonna have us go over it in class. I resume, presume. I'm still trying to see if I can get him on here. Say we in class. We ready.
My cat's right now actually laying right beside me as I'm on my bed listening on my phone.
Oh, now you turn on.
Now your phone's like, oh, I'm sorry. Was I dead? No, no, I was actually alive.
I'll be right back.
Right. Yeah, I think he on there now. Trying to look for the link. The link is up ahead. Use the same link. Okay, he writing me back now. Entering now, he said. Okay. Here comes Zane Pierce, the one and only Zane Pierce. Okay. You know we can say that about each and every one of us. So this is, let me see. It said it's entering now. Let me see, because I don't see him yet. I didn't see Candy Swirl in here neither. let me open up my.
No, I was there the whole time.
See, and he was there the whole time. Like, oh wow,
I
good.
was invisible.
And I don't see Lionel on here either. I know I got. Oh, there you go. He probably got
Yeah,
his
Lionel's
phone.
there.
It's on his mute. I think I gotta. How you open this thing so you can see everybody at the same time? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Well, I was trying to wait for him to come so I could stop sharing this picture, but I don't see anybody yet. Come on, come on. Where are you? Participant. Let me see. Let me hit that one. All right, that'll let me know when he come in. Yep, Lego B, iPhones, Candy Swirl. What's that right there? Let's say Lori. Can you see that in your participant?
Uh-huh. Let me see. I just only see
Oh, that's
myself,
Lionel.
you. Yeah, that should be Lionel. And then the
Okay.
iPhone. I don't know why there's like two.
Yeah,
Unless
who
that's the
is
same thing.
iPhone? I don't get whose that is. That's
I don't know, getting
that,
notifications.
that might be
I'm
Lionel.
I'm in class right now. No, no notifications right now, folks.
Oh,
Roblox,
you getting
no.
them?
Discord, no. Yeah, but yeah, I was actually recent. Before I came in here, I was talking with my friend on Discord, but then I told her that hey, I'll call you right back. I got class.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just see notifications like no,
So I
no
guess
notifications.
okay. I know I get them sometime too. They pop right up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay. I wonder if he's using the right link. Let me send the link to him again. Copy the link and place it there so he can see it. And get in. Paste. There you go.
Being comfy there, Maya.
Code 708
First, you actually done this.
749. Now, I wonder how we're going to put this. Oh, here goes in right here. Here we go. Admit. Wait for it says joining, 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 joining. Is it doing the same thing it did yesterday? I haven't stopped sharing, so and that's probably where I can see everybody.
Ah, here we are. I see him now.
You see him now? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, way up to my page. There we go. There we go. Guess gotta wait for his sound to come in.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello. All right, we hear you.
Hello.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea why the Zoom went slow again. Anyway,
Just go slow. They speed up.
Perhaps your computer does not like Zoom.
all right, there we go. See my face, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see ya.
Put a light behind me right there, make it look a little pretty.
Awesome.
Nice. So, how is everybody tonight?
Doing
Okay.
good.
Good.
Good. How
Awesome,
about
awesome.
yourself? Okay, gotta let somebody else in.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I actually just came out of another session again tonight. So, I'm moving
Mhm.
from session to session, yeah?
Yeah, I see.
Mm.
You at work.
Yeah. You know how it is. Nobody father's business. All right. So how did everybody? A pleasant night, to everyone. Awesome to be back here.
All
And
right. Glad to have you.
how did everybody go with the exercise last night?
Okay, so with the exercise, it
Uh-huh.
was actually pretty simple because I was able to at least chat it out with mom to able to categorize each person that I end up knowing.
Okay. Okay.
It's just probably only one thing I'm still wondering about is family. Where would that be categorized as?
Well,
Would that
even
be like in the friend, or
so.
would that be like more closer?
Well, hold on to that thought. I'll come back to that one, right?
Okay.
All right. And to everybody else, how to go for Lego B?
Did my assignment.
Say again?
My assignment.
Yeah.
Okay, I just did my assignment.
Okay. How did it go?
It did pretty good.
All right, great. So we'll come back to the assignment just now, right? Lionel coming on, right? His audio so
Lionel
connected.
half sleep. He's the sleeping, pastor. We call him the sleeping pastor. I keep trying to wake him up. I'm like,
Hey.
I'm gonna go and touch him again. I just want to hear how you start this.
Okay, I've seen iPhone here. Who's iPhone?
That's Lionel.
Honestly, we don't know.
Okay, so
No, that's Lionel, right?
well, I've seen ION, which was Lionel yesterday, and I've seen iPhone on the next side.
I think he got his
It's kind of
computer on.
weird.
He got his computer on too.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because it's connecting to the auto for the longest.
All
So
right,
that's
all right,
Lionel.
all right, all right. All right, let's see.
It made me think a little bit more
Yeah,
about the circles and the different stages, stranger, and this, certain things you don't talk with certain people about certain things.
right, right, right.
Right.
No,
That's what
it's
I was thinking about that, last night and throughout the day. And
right.
I started looking at my people that I relate to certain things. And that's true. Certain things you don't talk to everybody about.
Exactly,
That's right.
exactly. Talk to them there, and you're confiding in people who have not demonstrated their trustworthiness.
Right, exactly.
It's actually one of the first things I want to talk about today is the definition of trustworthiness that we tend to have too. Because we commonly trust people based on, like, one of the most common definitions that you encounter in the society concerning trustworthiness is the moment you talk to somebody and you share something that you wouldn't really share with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you feel like you share something with them that is intimate or something that is close to you, you validate them as trustworthy because you felt like you could confide that to them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And basically, what you're doing is actually giving them trust because you shared information with them, but that does not mean that they're trustworthy.
Right. I get
You understand? And trustworthiness is defined as consistent reliability over time,
yes.
which means before you even trust someone, what you should be doing is actually allowing them to demonstrate their trustworthiness on their own so that you can ascertain whether that person is trustworthy over time. Not just meet them and just say, just feel like you want to share this, and next thing you know, we are good friends. What did you validate them on? You're validating them on basically, in most cases, you're validating them because you want a friend, and because they listen to you, they are your friend, and that is not good.
Yeah.
Does that make
That's
sense?
something like winging it. You just winging it. You don't know for sure yet. And they
Exactly.
said down the this is time. They said time will tell. You said
Right.
consistent ability over a period of time.
Exactly.
Time will tell. Just give it time.
Exactly. That's the first thing we want to talk about here today. What is your definition of trustworthiness? Because this now is where wisdom in communication comes in. Because once you define who is trustworthy from who is not by the actual definition,
right.
then we can now see who you're actually communicating with and who you shouldn't be communicating with. What information you're giving to these people and which information you shouldn't be giving to them. Right? And then we can now take a look at that and see how that works, or what you do in communication and what you don't do in communication. Those are the two things we want to talk about today. All right, so Holy Sister Odiela, I need some capabilities here, please.
Coming right up.
Yeah.
What did they say? Roger that.
All right. All right, here we go. Thank you. Right, there we go. Nice. Let me know when you're seeing the screen, please.
Okay, I'm seeing the screen.
Lovely. Thank you very much. All right. Nice. So yesterday, the assignment was to put everybody in your life in the respective categories, because we identified that it's very possible that you could be approaching your relationships looking for something for yourself and not really approaching them from the or not actually choosing your relationships or giving them these titles based on their trustworthiness. But the first thing we want to cover here today is your definition of trustworthiness. Usually, based on everything that you all shared yesterday, whatever you shared yesterday is technically what you have been using to define trustworthiness by. All right. So if, for example, you wanted somebody because you wanted somebody who could play games, then technically what you've been doing is defining defining their trustworthiness by whether they could play a game or not. And naturally, where technically the person could be an acquaintance, somebody who you really don't know, whatever you have been using to define them or to validate them, you're technically putting them here as friend and close friend. And naturally, you're giving them trust that can be detrimental to you. Right? They can betray it, as well as they could, if there are people who have ill intentions, they can begin to act against you, and you are not going to be able to stop it, because the trust that you give to that title you've given to them, and they could be acting against you, and you're going to be paralyzed from actually responding. Is that making sense to everybody?
Yep, that makes sense.
Nice. So, so today,
Yeah,
all right. So today, what we want to do here is redefine trust. Now, we want to make sure that we understand that trust is consistent reliability over time. That means, well, even before we go into the, what the trustworthiness is, remember we ended yesterday by saying that if you are self-existent, then you are self-determining. You do not use anybody else's opinion to tell you what is true and what is not, or to give you value. Right? People's opinions do not give you value. Their opinions are their own. And functioning from self-determination means that you function from the integrity of your spirit, which is you are a creator, and you are actually also functioning from equity, meaning that just as you respect your self-determination, you respect other people's self-determination. Now, respecting other people's self-determination means that just as you have the right to have your opinion, they have the right to have their opinions. Is that making sense?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right. And because everybody have the right of their opinions, that means that their opinions are not necessarily your opinions. And that is all right. Your opinions are not necessarily their opinions. And that is all right. If they have an opinion that's different from yours, what you simply do is respect their right to have a different view. Is that making sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Everybody following this so far?
Yes, following right now.
Yes.
Great. So, therefore, if we are actually functioning from equity, integrity to the spirit in you, which is truth, which is basically truth, and equity for all, then when you meet someone, you want to actually see if they are functioning from any integrity to truth and to being equitable to all. Meaning, are they also respecting other people's rights? And are they also considering everybody together, or are they considering themselves alone? So for example, you all go out. Here's a simple way you could do this. You and your friend, you all go, let's say we want to say, let's go out to the park. And your friend goes to the park and your friend buys ice cream for himself. What would you think about that? Just buy ice cream for himself. Just walk and say, all right, and you buy ice cream and you eat an ice cream by himself. What would you think about that?
I would probably think they'll be selfish.
Okay, you think it's selfish. What if you go?
For me,
Go ahead.
why would it matter if someone buys, let's say my friend buys ice cream and I don't get ice cream? That's their decision if they want to make if they want to have ice cream.
Yeah. That's
Right.
exactly what I had.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't even care if I get ice cream or not.
All right. So let's change the scenario. You go out and you buy ice cream for yourself and you didn't give your friend any. How do you see yourself then?
Well, for me, I'm just enjoying, let's say, the ice cream, but it just depends on how my friend would think. It's either A, they could just be, they don't really care, or they could also be affected and they'll probably think that, oh, you're just being jealous, or not. Maybe they'll be
Selfish.
jealous because and thinking that we're selfish that we didn't give anything to them.
All right. Now let's change it one more time. Let's tweak it. Let's tweak the scenario again in a different way. You step out of the park and your friend goes and gets ice cream without telling you that you're going for ice cream. He just disappears and he gets his ice cream and comes back and he's eating ice cream all by himself. What's your perspective then? Or we switch the scenario, you went out and you decided without telling him or her, you're going to get ice cream. You go and get ice cream, you come back by yourself and you're eating your ice cream.
Wait, so are you just like walk for them to buy ice cream without even saying a word?
Without even saying a word, you just when you get your ice cream and you sit down eating your ice cream by yourself.
Now just thinking about it, it probably wouldn't be really fair if you really think about it, because
Mm.
they'll be looking at you like, "Why you got the ice cream? I want ice cream too."
Right.
It wouldn't be fairness for him, or they no fair.
Right. Now, the reason why I'm actually asking this question is because if you go out or you have a friend, somebody who could be spending time with you, and you realize that they are making decisions that benefits them and not the entire party, like not two of you all as a team, then that person is not being equitable. Equity is where you don't consider yourself alone, you consider the collective. So if, for example, it's 5 of you, and 5 of you go out, if you're looking for persons who you want to make friends, you want to make persons, if you are functioning from integrity to your spirit and equity for all, that means to begin with, you do not ever consider yourself alone. So if you're going out with your friend, you should actually say, "Hey, I'm going for ice cream. You want to go?" That's you now treating, not being focused on yourself, but actually being equitable. And that means that you're no longer functioning for your benefit, you're functioning for the benefit of the group. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So you go.
Nice.
So you're going for the ice cream. You say, "Hey, I'm going for ice cream. Would you like some ice cream?" As one. Now, once you are functioning like that, you're benefiting for the collective. Anything that is due is actually benefiting the group. Then you want to also look for friends, people who also are equitable. Not they just go and get the ice cream and they go and sit down and eat the ice cream by themselves. But they're going for ice cream and say, "Hey, Candy Swill, I'm going for ice cream. Would you like some ice cream?" Or, "Hey, Lego B, I'm going for cotton candy. Do you like cotton candy?" Or, "Hey, RIP, I'm going for some watermelon. Would you like some watermelon?" See that? That's actually considering the collective. That is actually what is called equity. Now, when you have a friend like that, or you're looking at the person to see if they're equitable like that, that's not something you should tell them that they should do. You want to look and see, are they doing that naturally? Are they actually persons who are considerate of the group? Or if it's just one friend, they considerate of the both of you as a team and not just you, not just themselves, or you not considering yourself alone. Then with that, them demonstrating that consistently over time, then you can say that they are trustworthy. See what we're saying? So consistent reliability on being equitable over time equals trustworthiness. That means that you could go out, like we were speaking about yesterday, and you know that this person is not going to betray you. if you end up in a fight, because they are about the collective, they're not going to leave you there and go. Not that you should end up in a fight, right? But if you end up in a difficult situation, they're not going to abandon you. That also means that they're not going to abandon you because they want something in particular. They have a particular priority, and because they want that, they're gone because that is what they want for themselves. They consider the collective as a whole. And even if they want something, then that's something that they discuss with you before they make the decision to go, so that you know what is happening. Is that making sense to everybody?
Yeah,
Yes.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that now help you understand how you should go about choosing your friends?
That makes
Yeah.
total sense.
Yeah, RIP, you following?
Yep.
Making sense?
Yep.
All right. Lionel, you following it?
Yeah, you gotta get on the mic then. He said to say yeah. He's howling too.
All right.
He said,
Well, this is so Odiela, you good with that there so far?
yeah, I'm like, I wish I would have known this back then. But it's still good for now, you know.
Yeah,
When you meet people, I'm like, this is really good. Because if you didn't know how to go about it, you know, it's the scripture saying about how people hang with certain people that's you like birds of a feather to flock together.
Right.
Something like
Yeah.
that, something like that. But yeah, it. I think it's important who you choose as your friend.
Right. Yeah, it's important because if you choose the wrong person, when I say the wrong person here, I don't mean somebody, I'm not referring to somebody who you might just say, well, when I say wrong person, you get a bad impression. The person that is not equitable, the person that is not considerate of the collective.
Right.
And that means that somebody who just there for their own benefit, that's not a friend.
Right.
And if they're there for their own benefit, they will always do things that are not right because they want what they want. And that means that they could put you into some very disadvantageous situations.
Yes.
They can end up stealing. You don't know what they will do. But if they're actually about the collective, they will always do what is beneficial for the collective so that everybody remains peaceful and safe.
Right.
Those are things in particular should be taught in school. But unfortunately, the schooling is not about life, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So now that we understand that, then the next thing that you could do now is that since you have everybody written down in these different categories that you may have called that, then you could now go through that list and see, okay, we know strangers are people that you don't have any information with. Who is the acquaintance? Who is the friend? Who is really the friend? Who is the close friend, the intimate friend, the spouse when that time comes? And more importantly, the person in the center is you with God. So let's start with God. Because that concerns your identity here, right?
Yeah.
If we are actually living from integrity and equity, then the first thing that we should be asking ourselves is that, are we walking in integrity to God? Or are we even betraying God in the way we function with God? Because if you could actually treat God with disrespect and disregard, you will treat everybody else with the same.
Right.
Because God is the person that you should be open with, naked and unashamed with. And if you can maintain integrity with God, meaning that you always talk the truth to God, and you always show God respect, equitable respect. So if you know you have a covenant with God, an agreement with God, and you break in the agreement whenever you want to break the agreement because of self-benefit, then you're not going to be able to be a good friend either. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make a mistake. Making a mistake means that it is unintentional, but integrity means that when you see the mistake, you correct the mistake immediately without delay. If you're making a mistake and you're saying, well, God will understand, you are now showing indifference to the God that you're saying that you love. And if you say you love somebody and you're showing them indifference, meaning that it is not a priority for you to correct what you have done with them, then you're not showing love anymore. Now you're showing God hate.
Wow.
Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it making sense.
Yeah. So you actually walking in that self-existence means that now get this. So because God is in you, showing yourself a lack of integrity is also showing God a lack of integrity. If you don't value your own word, you wouldn't value your word with anybody else.
Wow.
Which means you have to be always sincere and true. Always remain in sincerity and truth. Right? And equity with God means that you always treat your relationship with God or your union with God with high regard. So if you know God is a God of integrity, you walk in integrity. And if you do something in particular that seems like it's out of integrity, that means you stop and you decide and you stop and you consider, how did I actually not walk in integrity here? You fix that and you make the decisions necessary to make sure it could never happen again. Nobody teaches that, but it is necessary that you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But saying sorry is one thing, but actually making the decisions necessary to make sure that it never happens again is where you truly demonstrate to yourself and to God that you are serious about your relationship. See, right there, that one thing could save friendships and save marriages. Because what people say is, I'm sorry, but they don't do what is necessary to correct it and make life adjustments to demonstrate that it will never happen again, to give the person that they call a friend or husband or wife the security that they truly care about them. And this is what we do with our covenant with God. If we find ourselves in a lack of integrity, then we ask ourselves, number one, how did we do that? Why did we do that? And number two, what do I need to do to make sure that that never happens again? How many of us following that?
Following.
Yeah.
Following.
Following.
Right. That means that if you have relationships with people, especially your friends, your close friends, and they do something that may be a mistake, they fell out, they didn't show integrity, or they didn't show equity to you, then you want to actually be able to know that they are making decisions that demonstrates that they're doing what is necessary to make sure that what they did never repeats itself. If they're not doing that, then you need to question if that is your friend at all. Is that making sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, making sense.
All right. Nice. Now, if you, however you actually treat your relationship with God, meaning integrity to God in you. Right? When we say God here, we're talking about you being Elohim, integrity to Elohim, and showing equity, meaning that you demonstrate care for the collective and not just you alone. If you are not demonstrating equity for everybody, care for the collective, do you know that you will meet someone who will call themselves your friend, and they could be selfish, but because you are actually doing the same thing that they are doing, not being equitable to all, not considering the collective, you will not be able to realize that they are actually about their benefit alone. The only way for you to identify people who are actually there for their own benefit, it means that you cannot be like them. You are not going to be able to determine that they are doing the same thing. If you are equitable with all, then somebody who is functioning selfishly or self-benefit, you'll be able to see them immediately because they will always be acting for themselves. But if you're acting for yourself, when that person comes around, they will use you and you will not even know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Lots of sense.
so is it important for you to be equitable?
Yes.
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 Nice. Is it important for you to be integrity?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the same thing works with integrity. If you are actually living a life where you're living with no integrity, not being truth, you're always lying, you're not going to be able to determine the next person that comes around you who is lying to. And they will lie to you and you'll not be able to determine it in any form or fashion. You have to make a decision in your life that you will never lie. Because when the person who calling themselves a friend comes and they're lying, because you're lying, you will not be able to determine it. And you will fall to whatever they plan. You will actually be a victim to it. The only way for you to determine a liar is for you to never lie in your life. Integrity always. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, making sense.
All right. So, do we see the necessity to be in uncompromising integrity? Uncompromising integrity means that you always speak the truth no matter what. Do we see the necessity for that? Find everybody get quiet with that question there.
I do.
That one, I don't know if it's a yes or no.
Why not?
Like, to tell the truth no matter what.
No matter what, you talk the truth, or else you will not be able to determine a liar when they
Even
come
if
around.
it's life or death. You mean like when he on Roblox playing, he don't tell people his real name. So he's now wondering now, I'm sure the first thing comes to his mind is game. Exactly. Are we gonna talk? Because when he online, he don't tell strangers real information like date of birth and country and all these things.
Okay, so we commented this right here just now, and we will put that into perspective there for you, right?
Okay.
All right. Now, with everybody in your life, remember you starting here. So when it comes to you here, you're supposed to be talking the truth at all times. Now, let's now come out here and work our way back in. So outside of the circle, which is outside of your spirit, is the stranger. Right? Anybody who is a stranger, you give no personal information to. Does that answer your question then also?
Uh-huh.
All right. So if you function self-existently, you give no personal information to strangers. But you be courteous to them at all times. Right? Which means you're communicating them. Hi, how are you, sir? Have a good day. That's all. Acquaintance. Acquaintance is somebody who you know, but you're not close to them. Right? That could be like a co-worker. And you could have family members that are really acquaintances also, because you don't really know them well. You have a common ground that you are family, but you don't know them, meaning that you have not ascertained their trustworthiness. You haven't spent time around them to identify whether they're trustworthy or not. Which means family in particular is not a special category. Family in particular could actually be acquaintance, they could be close, they could be intimate, and some of them could be outright strangers. Does that make sense, Candice? Will?
Okay, yeah, that does make sense because sometimes there could be parts of your family where you don't even know or you're not even close to. So you would most likely either categorize them in like acquaintances and then there's some is like you know them pretty well, so you would categorize them closer.
The one thing that you don't want to do is to actually say, well, they are family, and because you're family, you put them somewhere up in close or intimate friend. Because you can have family members that don't really share the principle of integrity and equity. And when the moment you put them there, you can have given them the trust that belongs to these circles that come natural to you. And they could abuse that trust and do things that are not right. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
So just because they're family doesn't mean that they should be up here. They are not special. Find where here that family member falls and make sure that you maintain the communication wisely according to the category. Many people in particular, we have many evils in this world. And there are many people who, because they say your family, they expect you to put them here, right here. And there are many people who have actually suffered very unfortunate instances and things that they never forget for the rest of their life because they trusted the person by putting them here. And they did something to them that they felt paralyzed by because the trust that comes with the circle they gave to them and they didn't belong there. They misused the trust and they did something and you were not able to defend yourself because the trust that you gave them paralyzed you. You never want to do that. Is that clear for everybody?
Yes.
Yes, that is clear.
Yeah.
So family should be assessed like everybody else. Right? So strangers, you give no information to. So even if you meet a family member for the first time, guess where they fall? Stranger, no information. Be courteous. Right? An acquaintance. Or if you meet them and they say your family, an acquaintance is somebody who usually you want to be courteous with, but there's some common factor you share with that person. That could be you're going to the same job place, you're living in the same neighborhood, or there's a family member. That's a common denominator that you have there with that person. You want to be courteous to them, but you only stick within topics within your common ground. So if you live in the same neighborhood, talk about the neighborhood. On the job, you talk about the job. Your family, you talk about the family, certain family issues, but nothing more than that. Is that making sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
I have a question. Like, what if they ask something outside of that?
Then you actually respond respectfully with, I would prefer to not divulge into that information.
Okay.
I prefer to not divulge that information, or that question is a bit personal. So I prefer to not, I prefer to decline to respond to that question. Treat it with respect, but make sure that they do not actually ask questions that pass their circle. Sorry, let me just reframe that. Treat them with respect, but ensure that you do not allow them information that pass the circle that they belong to. And you're going to meet you're going to meet a lot of people like that who ask you questions that actually might be questions you would ask a close friend. The reason why you don't want to do that, because the moment you begin to respond to that question, your spirit automatically is going to attribute the trust that belongs to a close friend to them here. And you're going to feel uncomfortable. And that also means that it also puts you in a position where they could actually abuse that trust and betray it. So manage your relationships, manage your connections. If they belong to an acquaintance, then keep them in that category. And if they ask questions that go beyond that, then be respectful and just let them know that that's a bit personal and I prefer to not divulge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does that make sense for everybody else?
Yeah.
Nice. So if it's an acquaintance, you don't really know them, then be courteous. You just talk about the common denominator. Then you may have a friend. A friend is somebody who you realize that they have some integrity and they're showing themselves to be equitable. And that person, you want to share things that you're all familiar with. So you might share your work experience, you might share your hobbies, you might share things about your family with them. Right? You do not remember, if you're walking by integrity and equity, you do not call anybody a friend that is not walking in integrity as well as equity. If they're not walking in integrity and equity, keep them in acquaintance, so that you do not actually attribute trust to them. Because people who actually walk in integrity and equity are the only persons that are trustworthy. Making sense, everybody?
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice. Any questions so far?
Nope.
No, none for me.
All right. So next is the close friend. Now, the close friend is the person that you have definitely realized that this person is trustworthy. And that's the person that you might share more personal activities with. Like, hey, I went to the doctor today and the doctor said that. Or I was playing this game today and I encountered this situation. And this is what happened. That's persons that you actually have, you see that they are trustworthy. They're persons of integrity, and they actually show equitable care for you. Is this making sense?
Yep. Yeah, making sense.
Yeah.
Nice. And the intimate friend is somebody who they in particular, over a period of time, you realize that they are somebody who will never betray your trust, as in they'll never show you a lack of equity, and they will never lie. They are persons who will always speak the truth. That person in particular, you can go anywhere with, and they will always have your back. Now, we say have your back, but to have your back means that they will always be equitable with you, so that they will never leave you, just as you won't leave them behind. They will never leave you behind. But the only way for you to know that is for you to see that trust over time, to see them do that over time. When you see them doing that over time, then you know that they are trustworthy. Right? So those are the persons in particular that once you've concreted that, those are the persons that you can share your thoughts with and how you feel with. But you see, this is the person that you're sharing your mind and your emotions with. Notice that nobody else here do you share your mind and your emotions with. Your mind here is what you truly think about things. Your emotions is how you truly feel about certain things. Your mind and emotions are not for anybody else here. You just keep it on. If they are strangers, no information, be courteous. If they are acquaintance, be courteous, keep it on the common denominator. If they are friend, then you can share your little home activities, hobbies, and so on. Close friends, You could share personal activities, but you notice that none of these people are you sharing your mind and emotions with. But you only share your mind and emotions with people that you really realize that you can trust. Is this clear? Is this making sense too?
Yeah, it's making sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, making sense.
making sense.
Nice. All right. And if and when you have a boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, then spouse, that's the only person that you actually share sensual energy with. The person that you actually choosing as your boyfriend and girlfriend in the future, or husband and wife, is the person that definitely you have validated to be someone who is in integrity and somebody who is equitable. That's the person that you can share your mind and emotions with and also share that sensual energy with. If they are not equitable and integrity, are they trustworthy?
No.
And if they're not trustworthy, everybody else, are they trustworthy? Yes or no?
No, if they're not
No.
running in integrity and equity.
Right. And if they're not trustworthy, then that's not somebody that you want to that you want to actually share your mind and emotions with and rest with, because it means that they can actually do something within that arena that can betray you, or they can attack you and you will feel as though you are paralyzed to respond. Integrity and equity are sacred. As somebody who is self-existent, those are things that you want to actually maintain sacredness on. So therefore, you want to manage your relationships based on people's trustworthiness. And you can identify the trustworthiness by watching their integrity and how equitable they are over time. Is this making sense to everybody?
Yes, making
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, making sense.
Nice. Now, in this case, when you are communicating, this is how now you begin to function in wisdom with your communication. Your wisdom is actually making sure that you understand who is who that you're talking to and wisely manage how the information that you're communicating to these different categories. So to RIP here, you're on a game. You're talking to strangers. You should not be giving them your personal information, but be mannerly to them. Many of the people around you, and this goes for everybody also, you may know people, but you haven't spent enough time to really realize if they're persons of integrity or if they actually care about, if they work in equity with regards to your interaction. You keep them in acquaintance. Only persons who you know that you can trust based on integrity and equity are the persons that you allow there. Integrity and equity is what you use to determine character. If they're not working in integrity and equity, then technically they don't have character. And character is what allows you to say whether this person will. Character is what actually makes your relationship predictable. If the person doesn't have character, you will not know what they will do to betray you or to cause you hurt and harm. Like, for example, do you all approach flowers? Like if you see, you might see a flower. The reason why you approach a flower and you approach with security because you know the character of the flower is not to draw a sword and cut you. The character of the flower is just to have petals and it remains there in a peaceful manner. The day you walk up to a flower and the flower seems to draw a sword and cut you, you will no longer see that sword, see that flower as having a peaceful character. You will not know what to expect from it, and therefore it does not have character. Character is what tells you what to expect from people. Is that clear?
Yes, that is clear.
Yes, very clear.
Nice. So, what did we learn today?
And what I learned today is, about that ice cream, you said, if
Mhm.
if you went and buy ice cream and your friend will be mad, they just expected that you're their friend, you will get them, something.
Right.
'Cause they want, let's just say, they want your money, or they want your ice cream
Right.
because you help them to do this certain thing. They decide to become your friend just for one certain thing
Right.
or many certain things.
Right. So you want, in that case, you want to make sure that the friend that you have is actually always truthful to you, and that he or she is always equitable, meaning that whatever they're doing, they consider the both of you. If they're doing it on their own, then that's not really somebody who has your back, or somebody who, we use the term have your back, but basically somebody who is demonstrating equitable care for you. Right. So if they actually they want to get action, they get action, and they sit down eating action on their own, and you might actually consider them a friend, that person is actually demonstrating self-benefit. It's not, if they actually, on the other hand, they come and say, look, I want ice cream. You want ice cream, and you say no thanks, and they get the ice cream, then fine. Because there's communication there with regards to the unit, the team. Because technically your friendship is where you all begin to function like a team. Yes?
Right.
And if you function as a team, then you always consider what is best for the team. If you're doing something, then the team benefits from it. And in the same way, if you're doing it, they benefit. What they're doing should always be connected to the team, so that you have what it means as equity established. But if, on the other hand, like you're mentioning there, somebody comes there and they're not functioning with that, but when they want something, they want to get it from you, but you're not seeing equity, then you know that they are there for their own benefit. You need to let go of that person. That is not your friend. That's there somebody who's there to use you for what you have. Make sense?
Yep.
Nice. All right. Is that all you wanted to communicate, Legobi?
Yep.
All right, lovely. Candice, I see you unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to mention, for me, what I learned is the key, I guess you could say, a key element to able to have, at least consider a friend, or to, well, I guess you could say consider a friend, is that if they are running in integrity and equity for between you guys, which,
Right.
if you really think about it, so for me, if I'm running with integrity and even equity, why would I not share the same to another person when I would, if I was in their shoes, like, why would I treat myself like that? So
Exactly.
I would say it's definitely very important to follow with those key components, or else you're just going to end up having everything to fall apart.
And you're going to have a lot of people around you that can destroy life and cause some very unpleasant experiences that you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sure ways to keep your life from having unpleasant experiences is always maintaining integrity, keeping people in their categories, and maintaining equity, so that those who not them function in equity, you could spot them immediately and move away from them. Because you're going to encounter many people in your life. And even like you said you're 20. So you're going to have young men coming around you who once you begin to function from equity, you will immediately begin to realize who's coming around you because they want something in particular and they're just playing a game to get what they want. You realize that they're not equitable with all things. Because if somebody is equitable, they're equitable with even the smallest things. They'll actually always make sure that the team have collectively, not just them. And they'll always make decisions that benefit the team. And the moment you realize that they're not functional equity, you know that is not, they're on their own scene. You could easily point it out, but for you to be able to point it out, you have to make sure that you function from equity. So that when they do that, it becomes evident, like it's out of the norm. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. So keeping integrity and equity can save you from a lot of unpleasant experiences, even unpleasant experiences romantically. But you'll also meet a lot of people that would even want emotional self-benefit, like they're using you for some sort of emotional purpose. And in some cases, they can encounter people who are searching for somebody to make them feel valuable. And that means that they're not functioning from equity, but they're giving you a lot of expectations that you have to meet. Have you met people like that?
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, society is filled with that.
Bunch of you gotta learn how to throw the ball back in their court.
Right. And that's where equity comes in.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
what actually keeps you from falling into their grip is keeping equity always as the mechanism that you're using to interface with people. So when they're making all of these expectations and they are not being equitable themselves, then you could realize, well, wait now, if you're not being equitable, then by equity, I don't need to actually give you what you're asking for. So that it keeps you from being taken advantage of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So once you maintain equity there, you'll always be able to identify, well, all you want is you have a list of wants. You want me to do this, you expect me to do this, you expect me to do that. So that the people can fall into even telling you that you're not doing this and you're not doing that. But equity here is where, especially when it comes to like relationships, what you want to have is an agreement in your relationship. Because one of the things that we do in our society is we just meet people, you like them, and you say we're in a relationship. But a relationship, by definition, is an agreement. So when you have an agreement, that's actually how you can actually have a healthy relationship, so that it's understood what our expectations are. And once persons begin to function selfishly, they realize that they want you to keep their side of the relationship, but they're not keeping theirs. That's a lack of equity. Immediately, you could point that out. So it keeps you from it keeps people from taking advantage of you. And it also keeps you from actually treating them unfairly also. Equity is super important. The entire Bible is about equity.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Yes,
Questions?
it makes sense.
Any
No
questions at all?
question.
So everybody comfortable with that, yeah?
Yeah, I'm all good. I don't have any questions.
I'm good. I don't
Okay.
have questions. You.
All
Nice.
clear. Like
All right.
clear.
So we heard from Lego B, we heard from Candice Swirl, RIP. What did you learn today?
Well, one thing I learned today is basically the same thing both both of them said. Like you have to watch out for people wanting stuff from you, and you also have to have you also have in integrity to be integrity and equity to actually be able to see to actually be able to see people who don't have that.
Exactly.
Like and that especially applies or like after duration of time.
Exactly. Lovely. Great. Nice. Lionel, 19 at Juliet.
Lionel is out.
Oh, shucks.
Mhm.
All right. Well, Holy Sister Odiela, anything that you wanna say?
Uh, yeah. This is some good stuff right here. Um, the relationship is an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in all relationships, right? Or
Yep.
right? And then what got me when you said that the entire Bible is about equity.
is about equity. That's the entire Bible is about God. Like so in the Old Testament,
Mhm.
the entire law of Moses was actually to make Israel a people of equity, that they always consider their neighbor and those who are not of this, the Israelites, treat them fairly. That is what the law of Moses is about, being fair with everybody else. This is why it was always an eye for eye, a tooth for a tooth. It was actually being equitable.
Okay.
In the New Testament, you see Paul preaching the gospel, and then he tells them, you don't have, he basically tells them, you know, this is Christ here. And basically what he's doing is teaching them on how to be equitable with everybody. Which is why you notice that when they preached the gospel, they formed a community and they began to share their things amongst each other so that nobody was without. All of that is equity.
Wow. So is the golden rule about equity?
Equity. Love is equity in the Bible. Equity is love.
Yes. It says because it says treat people like you want to be treated.
That's equity.
Awesome.
The same integrity you have for yourself is the same integrity you should be showing their dignity.
Yes, I could see that.
Make sense?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm learning that you know, just the verse that I quoted is that I'm hearing it in a different perspective now.
Right. Equity is what the entire Bible is about, being equitable. But you have to be it to be able to discern those who are not. And those who are not, especially if you point it out to them and you realize that they continue there, Paul tells you to move away from them. That's the same thing that we're saying here. Know who is in integrity and equity, and if those who are not, move away from them.
Wow. I see that as a superpower
Where's that?
because unless you have it, you will not see it.
Yeah.
If you're acting like them or whatever, you will not see it. But if you are actually have equity, you will recognize it right away. If they
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
have it,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
a superpower.
I guess you can say that, yes? In a way you can say that.
Right.
You can say that. It is a form of superpower because it does function like a super ability to be able to determine people, to discern people. Immediately you can discern them. But that's where your discernment comes from, eh? Being able to identify people through integrity and equity. All right, well, I guess that's it there for today, yeah?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, it's something to chew on. Now we got to actually do it because we all get ready to be around family too, and you know, friends, and you know, the Christmas parties and all the stuff that's coming up. You know,
Yep,
you be around people,
it's
you get
true.
to exercise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is actually what I would encourage you all to review this, because I can actually tell you personally, this dramatically changed my life. I've always been somebody who tried to walk in integrity to the best of my ability. But because of integrity and equity, before I didn't really know it as integrity and equity, I just thought that I was just walking in integrity to the best as I could and be fair to people at all times. And understanding this has saved me from a lot of negative experiences that had the potential to turn out to be very ugly experiences. It also helped me to determine friends around me and eliminate people from my life that come around and they're looking for something. They want something, they want to use you. Helps me to identify them immediately. So I very rarely am I in any type of position. I'm never in a position really where I'm stressed over a connection or a relationship. No. Once I identify who you are, I put you in the correct category. And it's important that you'll be able to do that. So I would encourage you to review this session, review the information, watch your diagram, and use the diagram to help you. And always understand, always know that when you're functioning from integrity and equity, you're respecting people's self-determination also. So never try to force people, inspire them, and do not allow people to force you. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah.
Really powerful. It's like dominion.
It
When
is.
when God say, "I've given you dominion,"
This is what we're here for.
right? It's like rule. You rule who be's in the circle. You know.
All right.
Put them in the right
Exactly.
circle. Right.
Exactly.
I just got that. I'm sorry.
You are managing and having dominion over your spirit, and you choose having dominion who enters the spirit and who you keep out of your spirit.
Yes.
It's all dominion.
Oh wow, that's good.
This is you being Elohim right here.
Yes.
You're never a victim. You choose. You choose. You're making decisions there.
That's so awesome.
All right. All right. Well, Holy Sister Odiela, I'm passing it back to you now.
All right, wait a minute. Let me get this. Let me screenshot this. That is so good right there. That screenshot.
This is something that I use only usually in personal coaching when I'm actually helping people reorientate their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dealing with their relationships. This is what we use right here. The next time I come around, we will talk about the next side of the diagram, which is on the right-hand side, which is how to talk to people, what to do when you're speaking to people, and what not to do when you're speaking to people, so that you can actually steward your conversations, have dominion over your conversations also.
Yes, that's so good. Yes.
All right. So whenever you're ready, Holy Sister, we schedule it and we get that done.
Okay. Well, let me know when your calendar is free.
All right. Well, this is December. I'm thinking next month.
Right.
January.
Next year.
January. Well, this is next January.
Next year, right?
Next year, yeah. We could put it on the 14th and 15th. Wait.
Okay.
Which is the Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday.
I'll confirm with you, okay?
All right.
All right. All right. That is so good, y'all. You did get the takeaways today already, right?
Yeah, they gave
Yes, we gave our takeaways.
Yeah.
Awesome. It was
Yeah.
good feedback. I love it. All right, y'all did great. That's awesome. So next week we having Master Mentor Katora. She's coming in next week.
All right.
Ooh.
So we having all this superpower stuff we get. Gotta learn how to use it. We gotta get the mechanics of it. So awesome. All right, y'all. If y'all have anything else to say,
No, I'm pretty good
No.
here.
I'm
good.
now passing back the host abilities to you here.
okay.
Right. There we go.
Here we go. All right. Anybody want to pray out?
I could possibly play out.
Okay. Thank you.
Might as well just pitch in. All right. So thank you, Lord, for today. I just want to bless everyone in the class. And also, I want to thank Zane for teaching us about a little bit more in depth with making relationships. And this would end up helping a lot of people because not a lot of people end up knowing this information. So I really just thank you for sharing this, and that for everyone that happens to hear this on live and even in the meeting, just take this in and practice it out. And just for the rest of the day, you guys just do whatever. In
Amen.
Jesus' name, amen.
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 All right. Well, it was a pleasure.
Much. I appreciate that. And I confirm with you about
For
say
January.
good night to everybody.
All right.
God bless y'all.
Blessings and much
and
love.
much love. Yes, there you go. All right, good night.
All right, bye.
Peace.